Peace, blessings, love, and light. Welcome back to Deep Speak with Brother Sadiq. Um, it's been a minute, maybe a week or so, maybe a little more. Either way, your brother been traveling, building some contacts and some connections, and solidifying some previous contacts, making things tight. So that's what's been up with me, and of course, you've seen what's been up with the world. Riots everywhere, all over the globe. But you know, who loves you, baby? If you remember, your brother Sadiq told you that. I said they are intending to cause riots. They are constantly showing black men on TV getting murdered and et cetera, with the intention of causing us to riot so that they can eventually set off martial law. This is what I said maybe a month ago. And if you look at my videos, it's there well before the riots actually took place. So um, that is a fact that is already kind of documented into the web, into the universe. Now I said it and it happened. And it's not that I wanted it to happen, but you can kind of see if you're paying attention. So for us who have been paying attention, I hope that you did not go out and involve yourselves in rioting and looting. Now I don't mind that there was protests or there was even riots. I'm not saying don't do that, but what I am saying is that the cameras that they have used forever to arrest us will still be used after all of the looting is done, and they have their camera systems and their pings on their cell phones, and there'll be arrests made if the country ever goes back to how it was. So I imagine that's a possibility. So that was one of the things. Also, I also mentioned that there would be tanks in the streets and military, military in the streets in America, and that also took place. Now I'm going to tell you guys because I think it's important that we all have access to this information. So there is a remote viewing channel that I watch. Remote viewing is something that I'll let these people who do remote viewing explain. But it is a form of being able to see beyond your physical sight and beyond time and beyond space. So there is a place in Atlanta called the Far Sight Institute, and you should do some research and find out more about the Far Sight Institute. They actually teach this practice, this remote viewing. So it is something that you can learn. Uh, a month ago, they mentioned what I told you about as far as the military and the riots and et cetera, et cetera. But what is also something I think that you guys need to know and to research and to check out is a young dude. His name is Young Pharaoh Allah, Young Pharaoh Allah. And he has done some extremely excellent research. Um, Hats off to this brother. I mean, excellent research. Okay. Maybe a 3 hour video, and I think it's something that you should spend 3 hours and watch because it is showing you that this is a chess game and that what happened with George Floyd actually happened, I believe it was in France and also in Spain, meaning a white man uh, put his knee on the neck of a black man. It was recorded on video, causing, of course, abrupt rioting all over the nation and the world. And so, what we see with the rioting around the world, we are told it's all about George Floyd, but there's actually copycat cases of the insightful murder um, on several different video clips, the exact same scenario. So check it out. It's Young Pharaoh Allah. He has a YouTube channel. He is a YouTuber who does excellent research. Hats off to him once again. I believe the video is called George Floyd, the Riots, and the New World Order. May not be perfectly that, but you go check out his channel and you will see the video. And it is well worth the time to take and watch it. In fact, there are two videos that he has that I watched both of them, and there is excellent research and information in there. And so, what I said, it seems to be playing out as a scenario, and his research just verifies and it supports everything that I said. This was all intended with the intention of us rioting and becoming, chaotic in society so that there will be martial law. And that's where this is headed if something doesn't change soon. So if you watch these videos that I just kind of pointed you to, there is also a new video from the Farsight Institute. And they do a series called Human News. So in Human News last month, they talked about rioting. They talked about the military in the street. They talked about pretty much what we all just experienced. Also, in the past, I think 48 hours, they did a new episode of the Human News, which is a continued series on the Farsight Institute. And they have a YouTube channel. It's Farsight Press. And so you can watch this there. They labeled the Human News for the month of June as Zombie Apocalypse. So go and watch these videos. They are very important. I don't know how much value you put or how much trust you put in the idea of remote viewing. But there is an entire science behind it. It is something that was used by the CIA, by the military. And if you want to do research, there is much validity to it. So that is that. But what they are saying for this up and coming month that we are in now, June, that there will be more chaos, more death, more agony, more sadness, and it will be related to, I believe, more chaos in the streets, more rioting, more protesters. So I will say this again. I understand the energy behind the protest. I'm a black man. I understand the deep emotion, the tears, the pain, the triggers. But let me also explain to you that there is a hidden hand, once again, as I mentioned, moving the pieces and the pegs of this that we see like chess pieces. And so I am speaking from the perspective of, I guess you could say, my studies in not only history, but in prophecy. So some of this stuff is prophesied as to come to pass. Different religions, different so-called prophets and seers. So we are seeing it come to pass, and I have tried to give the explanations before about what we should be doing with the energy versus, going to riot and loot and, be motivated by people outside of our community to destroy our community and the stores in our community and redirect the energy from something that is constructive. So what I initially said before the riot started, before Mr. Floyd lost his life on the national news and all of the people became enraged, what I said is that we should not use our energy in that way, but that we should come together, unite, and build programs for our youth. The program that I was given, I have named and labeled My Brother's Library Incorporated. I've explained, and I'll explain again, that We are in a spiritual war as much as a physical war. Okay. And the reason that it seems that you are the targeted group, black people in America and globally, is because you have spiritual gifts that you have not enacted, that you have not utilized, that your ego is blocking you from utilizing because you too cool, you too swagged out, you the man, you this, you that, you got all of this bullshit theory of who you are in your head, and you don't really know who you are because you've not asked the creator how, what your purpose is here, what you're doing here, what is your intent for my life as you created me. You have not asked that. But I've given you that information, and I'll give it to you again. I'm going to tell you God's will on earth, as people wonder, as religions wonder, God's will on earth is that every human that he has ever created reaches their full potential. That is God's will on earth, that every human being that has ever been born, that will ever be born, reaches their full potential. That is God's will on earth. From the event of all of our youth, the next generation, hopefully through my program and other programs like it, we will cause our next generation to reach their full potential by studying our children, investing and nurturing in our, nurturing our children, paying attention to their natural gifts, searching out their natural gifts and aptitudes, and feeding them, supporting them, building them. That is an aspect of the programming. Another aspect of the programming is it's teaching them their entire body from elementary through 12th grade, all of the systems of their body, teaching them the environment that they grow up in, the trees, the plants in their state, teaching them the animals in their state. Now, if you pay attention, all this is taking us back to the beginning. In the beginning, there were no cars or keys or material things to fight over. There was humanity, there were the plants, there were the animals, and there was the creator. So, what we are doing is restarting. We're starting over because we have gotten so far away from who we are as a human being species that we have to begin to teach again our base humanity, right? Our base humanity. What is this environment? What am I? Okay? Why am I in this environment? So those are some base human qualities that we need to begin to teach to our youth so that we can reorient the next generation to what is best. Okay? Now, when you nurture these children and we find their natural gifts and they begin to create and build from their natural gifts and aptitudes and qualities and talents, what they will build is known as the kingdom of heaven on earth. Okay? So I'm telling you that the kingdom of heaven is in the hearts of the people. The things that they will create and will build onto this earth are the things that are part of the reality of what is known as heaven on earth. So, you reaching your full potential, your children reaching their full potential, that is God's will on earth. After we reach our full potential, the things we create and build from that potential, that fullest expression of self, are the details of what will be heaven on earth. Now, I think I can't be much more clear than that. I think that is as bold as possibly need be. The kingdom of heaven is in the hearts of the people. When we allow the people to reach their full potential, the things that they bring about are the physical manifestations of what will be heaven on earth. Okay? So, bold statement, needed to be said again, needed to be very clear. There are those who are working against you reaching your full potential. They want you to react from your emotion. Okay? They want you to react strictly from your emotion and from passion and pain and anger. but you have a spiritual self that is wise, and you can recognize how you should move if you balance yourself, if you purify your actions and your intentions, if you cleanse your heart from I'm a gangster, I'm a thug, I'm a pimp, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a roo, I'm a beast, I'm a all that shit y'all say y'all are. Y'all aren't that. You are not. You are a spiritual being put here by the Creator, and you need to recognize and utilize and magnify that part of yourself in order to get through the shit we're about to go through. Because there are tricks and traps laid all around you. And your preacher will probably fall into the trap, and your pastor will probably fall into the trap, because this is not about their leadership. This is about your personal relationship, their personal relationship. So, the value of what I am saying is for your spiritual self. I hope you can see it. I hope it's valuable to you. I hope you utilize it and you exercise it. I hope you watch the videos, the Farsight video that I just mentioned, Farsight Institute, and also Young Pharaoh Allah. You should check out these videos. They are vital information. I love my people. I love my people, and I saw that they were being prodded towards exactly what we just saw, the rioting. So I'm not really at a loss for words. I kind of expected it to come about because I know the equation of the 95% and the 85% and the 5%, and I recognize that only 5% of our people are going to wake up, and that a majority, 85% of our people, will not. So that is a number that I would like to be transformed, of course. But I also watched the riots, and I watched black people go right behind people, white people who were masked, okay? Masked people, motivating and inspiring them to go and commit crimes and be illegal. And regardless of the laws of this land, what is spiritually right that will balance you is that which you already know. Treat people like you want to be treated. So don't let anybody inspire you to do something outside of what is right, what is balanced, what is, perfectly sound in yourself. You know what's right. And the fact that y'all were allowed, that you allowed someone to misguide you is a sad situation. Because in this time, if you are getting yourself in balance and in alignment, you will be able to see clearly, you will be able to hear clearly, and God will send guidance to you. Ancestors will send guidance to you. The universe will send guidance to you. But if you are corrupt, if you are not righteous, if you are a beast and a monster and a killer and a da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you want to be all of this unrighteously, because there is a factor and a reality in building and destroying positively, like Allah, okay? Build and destroy positively, right? So that is a factor. But stealing and destruction, the intention behind it is what will matter the most. So don't let other people come into your community and motivate you to do anything that is going to cause your spiritual self to be out of balance. That's what I'm talking about. Because you need to be in balance so that your intuitive self will guide you through this time. Okay? I was in another state, and I saw where some Bible verses had been changed, and it was in a picture on a wall, and I shared it with people, and they were all surprised and shocked. But it is also written that this is part of what will happen in the last days. So this is for me a curious time, but also a time to be quiet and to listen and to feel spiritually what is going on, not to be reactive to everything. Okay, we should not be reactive. We should be proactive towards that which our spirit motivates us. So, My Brother's Library Incorporated, still looking for all of our people. And I will say this, if you are not coming to help me build My Brother's Library Incorporated, help someone build something positive, because what we are building are the um, the facilities of our future. We are building the educational facilities and the places that will nurture our future. So as we see, there are those who are motivated to go do the destructing and the burning, and when the fires and the ashes are settled, there will be people like me and you and others who have motivation to do the rebuilding. And that is My Brother's Library Incorporated, our new form of education from our true selves, our true base, and not a societal slot that we have to try and fit into. So that's my video for today. I send my love to you. Man, I send my love to you. I send my love to my people. I send my love to the whole of the world, man, because um, we are all in this together, whether you choose to be or not. You are. We are here. It's going down. So I send my love to you. I send my light to you. I send blessings to you. I send peace to you. I send all that I would hope for myself, I would hope for you. I hope that we all reach our full potential, that we find and master ourselves, and that we overcome our ego and allow the spirit to be our guide and our source, and that all of the powers of the universe that are in line with what is right and what is good come into your support and come into my support, and we become the supports of one another, seen and unseen. This is the creation. This is our creation, and it's our time to create. So, one love, peace, blessings, love, and light. All is well, and I hope all is well with you as well.